What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Gag with Geesh. This is a new segment of my channel called ATL Gone Wild, where I discuss all things Atlanta, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and of course the drama. So today, the airport getting all kind of shine. Now, I live in Atlanta. I love living in this beautiful city, going out and seeing so many successful people that look like me. But Atlanta can get a little ratchet at times. So all the news I'm covering today, it's all happening at the airport. So unfortunately, we got this breaking story here where a man arrested inside the Atlanta airport planning to pew pew a lot of people at the terminal with an AR-15. So let's go ahead and play this video and see what's going on in Atlanta, because it's always something popping off.
Tense moments caught on camera at the world's busiest airport as police raced against the clock to track down a man who they say threatened to shoot it up. The man is 49-year-old Billy Cagle. Atlanta police say he drove to the airport from Cartersville with his assault rifle and 27 bullets. Now, this is Cagle's truck parked on the curb right outside of the South Terminal. That's the terminal for Delta Airlines. Police believe Cagle may have been in the midst of a mental health crisis. They stopped his plan thanks to the help of his family. Monday afternoon, Atlanta police.
Now, before I let the video go on, I just find it interesting that every time something like this happens and it's a non-black person, they always deem it to mental health issues. Call it what it is. He's a thug. Go ahead.
The news conference following this arrest just hours earlier inside of Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport.
Cartersville Police Department was alerted by the family of Mr. Cagle that he was streaming on social media, that he was headed to the airport, in their words, to shoot it up. And the family stated that he was in possession of an assault rifle.
He had the intention to inflict harm to as many people as he could.
By the time Atlanta police got the call, Billy Cagle was already at the airport. Check out this red circle. You see his flatbed Chevrolet truck pull up outside the doors of the South Terminal. He then walks inside. That's him in the bright teal polo. 14 minutes after getting the call, Atlanta police had Cagle in handcuffs.
We did have a tragedy averted today. I do believe that Mr. Cagle was headed back to his truck to retrieve it, and I do believe he was likely to use that weapon inside the crowded terminal that he had just seen.
Atlanta's police chief says had Cagle gotten the gun inside the airport, his officers were ready.
We prepare for this very scenario. Our special response team trains weekly for just this occurrence. What you didn't see in the video was close by officers armed with rifles themselves. Any of you that travel through our airport commonly see them in the atrium. That's why they're there. You see officers with sidearms that are ready, prepared to move out. So should that scenario ever rise, as it has elsewhere in the city, we're going to be ready.
Fortunately, quick actions likely saved lives.
We're here today briefing you on a success and not a tragedy, because a family saw something and said something. A family knew they had a family member in crisis. They knew they had access to firearms.
Cartersville police say that Cagle is well known to the department there due to his criminal past. We also know he is a convicted felon, meaning he's not supposed to own a gun.
Now, I do want to say shout out to APD, the Atlanta Police Department. Y'all did y'all big one. I'm so glad y'all stayed on top of that, because that could have been a very tragic situation. Like, so many people could have lost their loved ones had that guy got into that airport and carried his plan through. So I'm so glad that did not happen again. Big shout out to the Atlanta Police Department. Y'all have saved a lot of families, their loved ones, because y'all acted so, swiftly and professionally. So shout out to Atlanta Police Department. And, I don't like to see none of this going on, because, y'all, we already live in a crazy world now. Everybody's stressed out. And that whole mental health, yeah, we all got mental health problems at the end of the day. Everybody got something they dealing with. I just find it very interesting that they would say, oh, he was having a mental health crisis, but then they will follow that up with, he's already been a convicted felon. He's a convicted felon, as is. So, no, he used to this. Call it what it is. He a thug, because if he was any other race, that's what he would be. So let's call a spade a spade. So speaking of this thug that was trying to go to the airport and pew people, innocent people for no reason. So his name is Billy Joe Cagle. His criminal history of a man arrested at the Atlanta airport. So this is his picture. That's Cagle right here. Okay, so the brief. Billy Joe Cagle faces multiple felony charges after airport threat arrest. Police records show a past of marijuana conviction, but no violent crimes. Family said he was in a mental health crisis and not in his right mind at the time. You know, the family's going to always take up for you. Okay, so he is 49 years old of Cartersville, Georgia. Now, for y'all that may not be familiar with the Atlanta area, Cartersville is about, I don't even know if you can consider that metro Atlanta, because that's like well over an hour north of Atlanta. But yeah, so he's from Cartersville. He was arrested October 20th at the Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta Airport for threatening to shoot up the airport. Let's see. It says what we know based on his criminal history. He faces multiple charges, including terroristic threats, possession of firearms during the commission of a felony, criminal attempt to commit aggravated assault, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Police records show Cagle has a nonviolent criminal history dating back to the late 1990s. Okay, in 1999, he was arrested for possession of marijuana with intent to distribute after selling 1 ounce during a police-controlled buy. Cartersville police officers found 8 ounces of marijuana and 8 firearms at his home. Cagle was convicted, sentenced to 8 years, and served several months in prison before his release in November 2000. All right, y'all. So more airport drama. So this headline reads, and shout out to the New York Post, Delta flight attendant berates Southwest Airlines gate attendant during heated exchange at the Atlanta airport.
No.
I'm trying to tell y'all, this is ridiculous. I've lived in Baltimore, I've been through Detroit and all of that. This is the worst airport, and y'all make Southwest look horrible. That customer service is ridiculous. I'm coming up there with the calm energy, asking her, can I get a different priority? And she's coming out, no, you can't. No, that's ridiculous in this ghetto, and it's because it's Atlanta, and y'all don't have no respect for customer service. Y'all need to clean it up. Clean it up, because I'm just taking a flight, and I don't have to take Southwest, I can take Delta. No, because she disrespected me for no reason. No, first off, put your hand out my face. You are something, you ain't nothing. Where your name tag at? You ghetto, that's ridiculous. You make it Atlanta look. That's why they told me not to come here. That's why they told me not to transfer and not to move here. Because y'all are ridiculous in the ghetto. I don't do that type of stuff. I don't do that. I carry myself with professionalism. I'll take Delta back home. We have a flight, but I'll take Frontier. I'm not going to be here with y'all. That's ridiculous. Delta, Detroit, and Baltimore don't have no type of ghetto type of act. That's ridiculous.
We're from Baltimore.
Yeah, I know y'all from Baltimore. That's Atlanta got to clean it up. Because this is supposed to be the Black Mecca, and y'all can't even carry yourself with class.
All right, y'all. So y'all just saw that. Now, a few things I want to discuss with this video here. Now, one, he not wrong. Now, some of them at that Atlanta airport, they do be so ghetto, and they do have bad customer service, and that's not even at the airport. Yeah, Atlanta, we have these places where you can go get great customer service, but it's about 50-50. You got good customer service and you got just as much bad customer service because people be acting like they don't want to work. Now, at the airport, I done had to get me a few people together that work at the airport because you see how she put her hand in his face. Don't be putting your hand in nobody's face. He's right. Where is your professionalism? But and like what he said, oh, Atlanta's ghetto, they got to clean this up. They told me not to, y'all got to clean this up. They told me not to move here. A lot of people that say that, y'all always move here. If you was warned not to move here, why do y'all always come? Because we would love for y'all to stay where y'all at because traffic is bad. And like every person around here in Atlanta say we full. But yet and still, y'all always frolic on to Atlanta because you want to be here just as much as the next person. Now, that does not excuse how he was treated in this airport. I do believe, cause like I say, they ghetto at the airport. They be acting like they don't want to work. Half of the time they walk around on their phone. You do get some people that work at the airport that do got great customer service. So I don't want to generalize everybody, but they do be like that. They be ghetto. And you do have to get people together sometimes. So let's go ahead and get into some of these comments here. Oh, somebody said, baby, I know Delta done clipped those wings. So he's a Delta flight attendant. So they saying, oh, since this video done went viral, they showed Delta done fire him. Delta probably did. Hopefully he still got a job now. No matter what's going on, I don't like for nobody to lose their livelihood. I do not like that. So hopefully, I know Delta don't play that. But I hope he did not lose his job because of this. This person says, sir, you have no union to protect you. Please don't risk your career. I definitely agree with that. All right, but another comment here says, I thought he was fine. He did nothing wrong. She wiggling her hand in his face trying to get a reaction. He exercised self-control because he could have popped her. That is very true. Another comment here says, and they're quoting him, says, I don't do this type of stuff. And yet he carries out unnecessary confrontation publicly, interrupting the peace of a passenger and staff. He was right, though. He just made himself look part of the problem. I agree with that. Like I said, everything he's saying is validated. Like they do got nasty customer service. A lot of them do. And like I said, now when I done had to get a few of them together, I didn't cause no scene like that. I just kept it between me and that person. And these days I'm grown. If I feel like I got to get you together, I don't even do it like that. I'm very professional in the way that I gather somebody. I'm going to make you feel small and dumb. This person says, wonder why he didn't take Delta in the first place. That looks bad on him, though. Doing all that in his uniform, whether he's right or not. Very true. Now, it would have been a different story had you been in regular clothes traveling, but doing that in your uniform and you got on Delta. Now, Delta don't be with that ghetto stuff, so I hope you ain't lost your job. But the very behavior that you claiming this lady of, you let her get the best of you, and you now you one with her. Y'all both sitting up there looking ghetto and, unprofessional. But all right, y'all, that's all we got for this episode of Atlanta Gone Wild. Y'all make sure y'all check out some more of my videos. If you like this one, make sure you stay tuned, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next video. Geech out.